Strap yourself in for Keeping It Real with Jac Ral.
Welcome back, Keepers. This is another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. I'm Jac Phillips and you are?
Gabrielle Dolan. And that is the most perfect introduction you've ever done. It's like, you know, how many episodes? 90-ish?
So speaking of EQ, emotional intelligence and empathy, self-awareness.
Spades here. Got it in spades.
Optimism. Here she is. Look at her. You've just been balancing a little soft toy on your knee. Come on, bring him
Can
out.
I introduce you to my little, because we're going to talk about EQ, emotional intelligence. I think there's also SQ, story intelligence,
She couldn't
which
help
is my
herself.
new book. But I'm introduced, so I needed a little mascot. Well, I didn't need one. I wanted a little mascot.
He's very cute.
A little mascot. And I thought, story intelligence, play along at home, keepers. What's a really wise animal?
A horse, a dog.
Okay. A dolphin.
Oh, hang on, an owl.
An owl. An owl's really wise. And if you had to think of a really, really intelligent person in history, what comes to mind straight away?
Einstein or
Einstein, right?
Yeah, okay.
Albert Einstein.
Got it right. Look at her little eyes.
I know.
Light up.
Look at my little eyes. Well, what if Albert Einstein had an offspring that was an owl? You'd call him or her, but no, him because it's a male name, Albert. O-W-L. Bert.
Oh, no.
Albert, and I decided he's Albert SQ.
Oh, he's
because that sounds very fancy.
It does sound fancy.
And SQ is
Sounds
stands
a bit
for storytelling.
techie too.
So say hello, Albert, to our keepers. Hello, everybody. My name is Albert.
God, we're going to do
Please
puppet
buy-
shows next.
Story intelligence, the craft of authentic storytelling made smarter with AI. It'll make you smart, not dumb. And I'm a very wise owl, and I know.
All
what
right,
I'm talking about.
enough. Why did you think that you needed a mascot? Have you ever had a mascot for a book before?
Look at me. Why would you
I'm talking
not
to you,
want me-
Ral, not
Don't
Albert.
talk to Ral. I'm now the new podcast
You're quite cute.
episode. I'm the podcast host. My name is Albert. I don't know why I talk like
All
this.
right, enough.
Okay,
Welcome
Albert,
back,
you gotta go.
keepers. That
Jack-
was Albert.
Jack doesn't like you.
I do like him, but I've had
I don't
enough now.
like her.
No. Well, sucks to
She's
be
got-
you, Albert.
She's got the EQ of a brick.
How rude. Just because I'm not.
I could. Oh my god! I've just decided I can bring out Albert all the time.
That's right, and use him to sort of, be your alter ego. I
Yeah.
love it. Very cool. SQ, I like that. So storytelling intelligence. We're talking about emotional intelligence
We
today. It's really interesting, emotional intelligence. From soft skill to strategic edge, they're saying in a world of artificial intelligence, in a world of more and more tech and more robots and everything else, that being human and having emotions and being able to be emotionally intelligent is going to be a serious competitive edge.
Yeah.
Do you have a view on that?
I do have a view on that, and I was actually reading a book that completely escapes the name. The name completely escapes, but it was a new book around emotional intelligence. Django's barking at the door.
That's right. Keelan's going to go and get him. Thank you, Keelan.
And it's one of the things I thought about. You know how often we go, oh, people have high IQ but low EQ? You know, a lot of people say
yes, very true.
that. And you might know this already, but probably didn't. I didn't really think of this. You can have high IQ and high EQ.
Correct.
You can have low IQ and low EQ.
Correct.
But the one that's really obvious is when someone has high IQ and low EQ. And we
Yeah.
see that often
Spot
in
on.
leaders.
Spot
and it
on.
becomes, so it sort of creates this stereotype of you can only have one or the other.
Yeah.
But
really
that's
interesting
not
you
true.
say that. And yet I've never ever heard of anyone having high EQ and low IQ. And I'll tell you why. Because to have high EQ means that you actually have a higher IQ.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
So it's a really great point you make.
Yeah.
A really great point.
Yeah.
So keepers, if you are somebody who doesn't know a lot about emotional intelligence, then listen to this episode. We can teach you a lot. I draw on emotional intelligence for my executive coaching every single day. I draw on it for my workshops and when I'm doing facilitations with leaders. It is an amazing thing. Do you know how many components there are to emotional intelligence?
I do not.
There are
But
5.
I figure I'm about to find out.
You are about to find out. This has been around forever. So there are 5 different components to emotional intelligence. The first is emotional self-awareness, right? The second is positive outlook. The third is self-regulation. Do you know about that one? Self-control. I'm being
do. No,
foolish.
I'm talking about emotional intelligence too, and we'll get.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to it. But there was something else I read in this book, which I'm sure it's
Okay.
about self-regulation.
There's adaptability,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's empathy. So there's quite a bit to emotional intelligence. So
Yes.
to say somebody's emotionally intelligent, particularly at a high level, you need all 5 of those components working at a very, very consistent level, which is not easy.
No,
Which is why
it's
we
not
need
easy.
to work on our emotional intelligence every single day. So, for example, and I've got this fantastic. I've got actually it's a questionnaire or a quiz almost, and it's multiple choice. And I give this to my clients a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to share it with any keepers if they would like it. Just DM us through LinkedIn or through our Keeping It Real Instagram. And there are 5 questions per each of those 5 components.
Right.
So, for example, emotional awareness, one of the questions is, can describe his or her emotions in the moment he or she experiences them. And then the multiple choice options are always, most of the time, frequently, sometimes, rarely, never. And there are 5 different questions under that particular self-awareness,
okay.
as there are 5 under positive outlook, 5 under emotional self-control or regulation, 5 under adaptability, and 5 under empathy. And what you do is you go through and you mark these and you look at them and you go, well, hang on, where am I perhaps falling a bit short? And then what you do is you get somebody else to also answer these for you.
Ooh.
You then compare their results to your results.
Would you get more than one person? Would you do like 5?
You don't want too many people because it becomes, I mean,
It's sort of like 360-degree feedback a bit.
maximum 2 others.
Oh, okay.
And the idea is what you're doing is you're looking at how you are. So how
you
emotionally
perceive yourself.
self-aware are you
Yeah.
versus what others are actually experiencing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a really great activity to do. It will help you learn more about your emotional intelligence. And what it will do, it'll help you compare your perceptions with who you think you are when it comes to emotional intelligence with those that actually experience you and your emotional intelligence.
Right.
So good to do in the workplace for sure, because that's where emotional intelligence can play out and really be a competitive advantage. So I am going to talk to you about EQ being the new tech skill. But before I do that, why don't you talk to me a little bit about story intelligence? And is there a correlation between story intelligence and emotional intelligence based on those 5 components? We haven't prepared for this episode, by the way.
No, we haven't.
So I'm throwing Ral right under the bus with that question.
Coffee down and
I know.
Look, I've
see you
often
thinking.
talked about, when I teach people storytelling, the people that are very, very good at storytelling in business are ones that have, I would say, empathy, but also the courage to show vulnerability. So I'm not sure if that ties into emotional intelligence.
I think it does.
But what I've found is when I come across people that would say, and this is happening less and less, but 20 years ago when I first started doing this, like, what the hell do I need storytelling for? I just tell people what to do, and I was like, well, good luck with that. And people who think they've got very high IQ, and don't need EQ. So they're the ones that wouldn't appreciate story intelligence at all.
No.
I had a client who, this was only a couple of years ago, he was second in charge of a very, very major organisation in Australia, and was brought into this organisation with the premise he will be the next CEO.
Yes.
He only lasted a couple of years because he could not work with the current CEO.
Wow.
And the current CEO told him, this is what the current CEO said, the problem with you is you've got too much EQ.
Wow. How long ago was that?
I'm talking only a few years ago.
Wow.
And one of Australia's largest companies.
Wow. So did he last? No, he left.
No, he left on principle.
And
He
did
left.
they replace the
I don't know.
other
Let's
CEO?
not go into too much detail because it might become
sure.
obvious who it is.
Sure.
But story intelligence is I actually tried to find a definition of story intelligence.
I think you should make up your own, like you made up your own leader style before.
I
Fusion.
did. I did make up my own.
Of course she did.
Because
Who needs Albert?
Because bloody there was none, and now I'm trying to find it and I can't.
I'm still trying to figure out whether story intelligence has anything to do with emotional intelligence, and she hasn't answered that.
Oh no. So in you're right. In And the very short answer is I think the people who are very good at story intelligence have very high emotional intelligence.
So again, if you look at the 5 components, so here's just think about this. If you're a good storyteller, do you have self-awareness? Do you have positive outlook? Do you have self-control? Do you have adaptability? And do you have empathy?
Out of all of them, I think it's empathy.
Okay.
Because a lot of people going, why would I tell a story about myself? And it really is to help the people listening to the story either understand it or get it.
It's about others.
It's about
not
others.
you.
And I keep saying is that
Well, that requires self-awareness.
storytelling is not about you.
No.
It's about them.
It's like presenting.
Yes,
It's not about you. It's about your audience.
It's about them. It's about
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So we think that having story intelligence means you're also emotionally intelligent. We've spoken about the 5 different components of emotional intelligence.
Just something to say, you should have asked Albert.
Should
He
have
could
asked
have
Albert.
asked to answer that.
I think I want to sit on Albert. I've
Yes,
already
next
had
time
enough of
ask
him.
me.
Oh my God, here we go again.
Next time ask me, I'll be able to
All
answer
right.
it better.
Focus, Ral. EQ is the new tech skill. What do we think about that?
I would like to hear more about what you mean by that.
okay.
I think it's
Okay.
because straight away when you said that, I went, what? No,
So in the
what?
next
What are you
decade,
talking about?
emotional intelligence won't be the nice to have soft skill. It'll be the competitive advantage. Why? Because as AI automates analysis and routine decisions, what remains uniquely human is our ability to sense emotion, interpret nuance, and build trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have thought emotional intelligence is always important. It's probably it's probably the same with story intelligence, always important.
Correct.
But now
even more
even more so.
The leaders that can regulate their emotions, read the room,
Yep.
and adapt in real time will be the ones who keep teams cohesive and keep teams together, keep them cohesive amid relentless change. And we've been talking about change earlier. So a question, and particularly a question for our keepers to think about when we say EQ is the new tech skill. Are we over-investing in data literacy and under-investing in emotional literacy? I don't know about you, but I've been reading a lot of reading about whiz kids, people like Sam Altman. Brilliant. He's created something that is scary but brilliant. They say he has low EQ.
I would imagine most of those tech bros have low EQ.
I think there are plenty that we could look at. And
brilliant
like that.
minds.
Brilliant minds. So again, EQ is the new tech skill. I can see how that is playing out. We talk about artificial intelligence and we keep talking about real intelligence,
Yeah.
real emotions.
So we're not talking about a technical skill.
No, it being a new tech skill in order to be a great leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
So know it.
And we've
Learn
all,
it.
they used to go hard skills and soft skills.
Yeah.
And both of you and I said
Power skills.
soft skills is bullshit.
It's
because
about
it's hard.
power
These
skills.
ones, like EQ, would be
Self-awareness.
considered, communication would be considered a soft skill.
Hardly.
They're bloody hard. And they're power
critical.
skills.
They are critical.
Critical skills.
So, number 2, when we talk about the future of emotional intelligence, and again, we're always sort of looking to the future. So we know, I spoke about the 5 components of AI. AI will expose, not replace emotional intelligence. I love this. Okay, so the rise of AI won't eliminate the need for empathy. It will amplify it.
Yeah.
Tools like emotion sensing software, AI feedback loops, and digital coaching, digital twins, you've been reading about those, will make our emotional blind spots even more visible. So will you leaders use this insight to connect more deeply or to manipulate more efficiently?
Yeah.
And that's a good question.
Like even now, you can use AI to help you with your emotional intelligence.
Correct.
Like even
Yes,
just as
you
simple
can.
as, you're about to send this email out to your employees or a client or whatever, you put it into ChatGPT and say, can you read this and help me identify blind spots around empathy?
Yeah.
What is this? Is this saying more about me than them? And
awesome.
you use ChatGPT as a
That's
coach
right.
almost.
Or a digital twin. You can
Yes.
do that. A lot of leaders are doing that at the moment where they've actually created this, an agent, an AI agent to be their twin. And that twin is then able to coach some of their leaders, which is incredible.
It is
apparently-
incredible. I've got a view on that.
I'm sure you have, and I did too. But the more I read about it, the more it made a lot of sense. In that, there is something about being given feedback from an AI agent, and this is the dilemma, right? That's not emotional, that actually means that you accept and receive the feedback better. Now,
Yes,
whether that's
I have,
true or
because
not.
it's like you don't take it personally.
That's
'cause
right. It's a little emotionless.
It's not from a person.
So the irony, right? The irony. So will leaders use insight to connect more deeply or to manipulate more efficiently? So when tech can read your tone, track your stress, predict burnout, become you, then does that mean that we are redefining authentic leadership? Ooh, Albert, what do you think?
Deep. What do you think, Albert? Albert can't even answer that.
No. So the rise of AI won't eliminate the need for empathy. It will amplify it. I agree. I absolutely agree on that. Whether it will replace authentic leadership, I don't think the answer is yes.
No.
However, I can see how it will amplify emotional intelligence, because to your great example just then, I can actually put something into ChatGPT or whatever agent I want to use and actually get more of a steer on how emotionally intelligent this particular writing is, or this audience might be, or how they might receive
exactly. And so I agree. It makes it more emotional intelligence is more critical.
Yeah.
But we said you could use AI to help you do it. And look, that's the I don't want to keep harping back to my book that's on pre-sale right now, coming out in November. But the premise is, a lot of people, the reason I wrote it, people would say, will AI replace storytelling? It was like, oh, no, of course it wouldn't. No chance. No. And then they would go, well, is using AI cheating with storytelling? It was like, no. And so the premise is it won't replace it. It's more important than ever, but how you can actually, you don't have to use it to be a good storyteller and to create great, but you could use it.
So one of my challenges with not telling enough stories, I tell a few, but I could do with telling more, is I'll often forget a story.
Yeah.
Whereas AI could help prompt me to remember something. You know, when I was 5 and riding my brand new bike that I'd just been given for my birthday, how can I use that to help me tell a story about X?
Well, there's one chapter in the book that I talk about how you use AI with your storytelling.
Good. I was hoping it would be.
And one is, it was like, say you want to talk to people about the importance of innovation, right? Let's just innovation, teamwork, whatever, collaboration. You put into ChatGPT, I'm trying to find a personal story. So you can find a public one, case study type thing. Personal story, ask me some questions. And so it comes back saying, can you think of some times when you felt you felt trepidation to do something but did it anyway or whatever, and you sit there and go, so it's like,
so it's prompting you.
So it's like when if we were sitting here and you go, I need a story around courage, but I can't think of one, I would go,
ask me the question.
Tell me sometimes when you've just felt a bit scared but you did it, or felt a bit scared you did it, and I would ask you all these questions. You would think of a story then. So this is what ChatGPT does, and then you go, and then it says, just give me a few bullet points of what happened.
Nice.
And I was surprised with this, because when I first started writing this book a year ago, I thought it can't help you with this. 6 months in, I changed my mind.
Wow.
And it crafted a story. Now, of course, then you've got to go.
You've got to apply your own.
Well, actually, that happened or that didn't happen, and you change it and you make sure you're not losing
But you're
your voice.
further along than you would have been
much further
before
along.
you even started.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing. You'll appreciate this. Again, we're looking at the future of emotional intelligence, from self-awareness to systems awareness.
Right.
So traditional EI has been about knowing yourself, of course, very important, and the impact you have on others. The next evolution is knowing your impact within the system. So what they're saying here is future fit leaders don't just manage their emotions, they read the emotional climate of teams, organisations, and even markets. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
They sense when energy dips, when culture is turning. I get that. I love that. And when trust is eroding, then they intervene early.
Yeah. This book I'm reading, and I must admit I've only up to a couple of chapters in, and it was talking about emotional intelligence, about being aware. And one of your things is self-awareness. Knowing those emotions and then what you do with them, and the impact it has, and how you manage those emotions. But this is, I like this. It's taking it to the next level. It's not managing your own, but it's pretty much reading the room.
Reading the room.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is moving from inward reflection to collective sensing. That's 2 words, collective sensing. Are you tuned into your team's emotional data as much as your financial data?
Yeah, like it.
It is cool, isn't it? Really, really cool. So the final one I wanted to talk about with the future of emotional intelligence is the rise of emotionally intelligent organisations. EI isn't just about individual leaders anymore. It's about organisational design. We could do a whole podcast on this, and I think we will next year. Tomorrow's high-performing companies will build emotional intelligence into their systems, how they give feedback, structure meetings, measure well-being, and reward behaviour. Imagine culture dashboards that track psychological safety, empathy, and trust in real time. I love that.
This is obviously, you need a
love
CEO
this.
and senior leaders in that organisation to have very high EQ for them to even implement something like that.
So you're exactly right. Are we measuring the right metrics for performance is what we're actually asking.
Yeah.
Or ignoring the invisible ones that really truly drive performance, which is all of those things we were talking about: feedback, structure, well-being, behaviour. Yeah. Imagine having a culture dashboard that tracks psychological safety, empathy, and trust in real time.
Yeah. Those dashboards and measures, I mean, I know when, bloody 20 years ago when I was in, you'd have your dashboard.
Yeah.
But they've evolved. Like you would have seen them evolving from pure financial measures and stuff
They have.
I mean, even the concept
People
of
in culture.
even the
and
concept
culture
of employee
surveys.
engagement.
Yeah,
Do I
and
feel,
engagement, correct.
they used to rate things like safety.
Yeah.
Am I safe? But
Yes.
I can be safe but not engaged.
Correct. Or you could be safe physically but not safe
Yes,
emotionally.
yeah. So they are evolving. Do you think?
Not at the speed I think of
Right,
which
okay.
we're needing them to. Again, are we measuring the right metrics for performance? So you think about high-performing organisations today that are perhaps heralded as being run really well. Microsoft is a good one with this CEO that's been around now for 3 or 4 years, and he absolutely went in and changed the culture. He really did, because it was a culture of I know it all in the leadership to now a culture of I need to learn more.
Yeah.
And so therefore started to measure those leaders and by what they would be performing by.
Yeah.
So I think there is something in this, and I think there's way more to go. And the more AI that we're exposed to and the more AI that we use and introduce into organisations, the more EQ we're going to need.
Yes, absolutely. And just when you're saying that, it's like a change. Like I said, clearly the CEO needs to be fully behind this to implement it. As we know, well and truly in the past, you get a new CEO that doesn't believe in it and it's all gone. I mean, you look no further than America at the moment, where a new president comes in and all the
changes.
DI and they get out. Just overnight, it's all gone. So, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. But emotional intelligence, keepers, it is such a power skill. I love that.
Yeah.
I really, 5 components of it, and the future of it is fascinating and has never been needed more.
Yeah.
So with that, how's Albert? Do you think he's learned something from Wise Jac and Wise Ral?
Albert, what do you think, Albert? Oh, Jack, I take that back. Your EQ is so high. I love you. Can I
love
be
you,
your
Albert.
podcast host?
No.
Oh, that's rude. Anyway, we'll sign off. And
I think we should. I think that's enough.
We'll throw it to Albert to sign off. Hello, keepers. Hope you found that of value. If you did, rate us.
Where's Ral gone?
Give us a 5-star. Hoot, hoot. And if you want to become a very wise person, become a Patreon subscriber, because you get access to all the wise stuff Jac and Ral talk about. So, bye-bye for now. Hoot, hoot.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keelan Ferrari Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.
I think you've missed your calling as a bloody puppeteer or a ventriloquist or something.